At least 27 people, including 3 children, have been wounded after a Russian drone strike on northeastern Ukraine. The overnight attack hit Ukraine's second-largest city of Kharkiv. It's near the Russian border. A fire broke out in a residential building as a result of the attack. Authorities say a nearby kindergarten was also hit. The area has been repeatedly targeted by Russia since its invasion 3 years ago. Let's go to Rory Challands now, who's in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Good to see you, Rory. And civilian sites once again hit in these latest Russian attacks. What more do you know?
Yeah, and there have been several fatalities confirmed as well, Neve. 4 so far. We've got 2 dead in the Sumy region, we've got 1 in the Odessa region, and 1 in the Kherson region as well. As you said, it was Kharkiv that had the most injured, with a strike there hitting an apartment building and also an area with a kindergarten too. It's a reminder, I think, that though we haven't seen the same level of kind of spectacular attack that we saw on Thursday night, that kind of grinding drone and missile strike situation goes on in many cities around Ukraine. And here's an indication that I've got from the app that I have on my phone that tells me when there's an air raid alert. In Kyiv, there was one at 1:30 this morning, another one at 7:50 this morning. Overnight, Saturday into Sunday, there was an air raid at 1:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. The day before that, there were 3 air raid alerts. And that's the kind of norm at the moment, 2 to 3 air raid alerts in Kyiv every day. And the advice each time is that you should go to the bomb shelter. That is obviously exhausting. So you can take your chances. You can ignore the air raid sirens and try and carry on with your normal life and get some rest. But of course, that comes with risks. And as we can see, they're deadly ones.
The background noise of insecurity has become a factor of normal life there, as you say, Rory. I mean, we know it's been a couple of days since Donald Trump admitted a lack of progress towards a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, suggesting Ukraine might even get US Patriot missiles for air defense purposes. Any indication that that might actually happen, or indeed a surge of other Western weapons? And where does the rest of the fighting remain concentrated at the moment?
Yeah, well, Trump is making positive noises, and Zelenskyy was pretty happy when he got off from his most recent phone call with Donald Trump. He said that it was the most positive one they've had so far. He was particularly pleased, I think, with progress towards joint US-Ukrainian defense production, particularly in the area of drones. But you're right, that issue of this halted arms consignment that includes resupply interceptors for the Patriot batteries that defend Ukrainian cities, particularly Kyiv, that is still hanging. And the reporting from the United States is that the decision to stop that shipment came unilaterally from Pete Hegseth, the US Defense Secretary, which suggests that perhaps the Pentagon and the White House are not on the same page at the moment on this. The Europeans, well, they're a bit more dependable for the Ukrainians at the moment, although they don't have the same stocks of high-tech stuff, and they're often slower to provide it. But I think the Ukrainians are very, very careful at the moment to be obviously thankful about everything they're receiving. The feeling, though, behind closed doors and expressed in the Ukrainian media, is that often these Western pledges to provide this or that weapon system or halt this or that weapon supply is more focused on perhaps threatening or cajoling Russia and trying to bring it towards some sort of ceasefire or peace deal than it is to provide Ukraine with what Ukraine believes it needs to defend itself. And the Ukrainians say that's a futile approach because the Russians always call the bluff of the West and carry on regardless. And we see that on the front lines with particularly fierce fighting going on in around the Zaporizhia region and the Donetsk region, with Russian advances being made there, reported by Ukrainian officers on their Telegram channels. Incremental advances, but the advances do add up.
So the pledge of Western weapons to Ukraine often seen as being more about a bargaining chip than anything else. Rory, many thanks for that. Rory Challands there in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.